Yo, what's going on, guys? Sinister Skater here. Got a little bit of a different video for you guys today. So for one of my classes I'm taking right now in school, I gotta run my own blog, gotta brand it, run a Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Speaking of which, if you guys want to help a brother out with school, you can go follow that Twitter. It's at CODHQ_blog. I'll link it down below in the description. I need a certain amount of followers by the end of the semester, so if you can help me out, that'd be pretty awesome. If you happen to have a WordPress account by somehow, you can go like and comment my articles. I'll link the whole blog down below in the description as well. That'd be cool. But for one of my assignment projects, I had to make a podcast. I chose to do a roundtable discussion with a few friends, and we discussed what you see in the title of this video. We touched on the boots on the ground pass setting versus the future sci-fi Call of Duty debate. It's been going on forever, and we touched on what will happen in the future, some of the glaring issues in Call of Duty. There was some really good discussion going on. It's a longer video, so hopefully it'll make up for not uploading as much in the past month. Little side note, next week at some point I will resume more uploads and will be consistent throughout after that for Call of Duty World War II. So you guys can sit back, relax, and enjoy the discussion. And there's a decent amount of World War II gameplay in this video as well. And you can contribute to the discussion down below in the comments. And be sure, again, follow that Twitter down below in the description. It would really, really, really help me out. If your boy fails a class, you're going to have to do another semester and, delay YouTube some more. So, just go follow that Twitter. But that's all I have to say. Catch you guys soon. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the COD HQ podcast, where we talk anything and everything Call of Duty related. I'm your host, Kyler, from the COD HQ blog. And today I'm joined by a couple of guests, Jacob and Miles.
Hello!
Hello. Now before we start, why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves, how long you've played Call of Duty for, favorite Call of Duty, any memories you have, anything along those lines. We'll start with Jacob.
Well, I first started playing Call of Duty in 7th grade. Modern Warfare 2 was the first Call of Duty I played. Favorite Call of Duty, I'd probably have to go with Black Ops. And as far as Call of Duty memories, it was just always fun getting home after school and playing with everyone else in the party.
How about you, Miles?
Alright, for me, I started on Call of Duty 3, I think. And it was from when I got my first Xbox 360. So, long time ago, very long time ago. But then, what my favorite COD is, I think it's going to be Black Ops 3. I would consider it to be my favorite COD because it gives the players a sense of change from being boots on the ground.
Cool. So, Call of Duty World War II, the ever so hyped game, is less than, 3 weeks away right now, I think it is? 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people are excited. We're going back in time to the World War II era, the boots on the ground era. It's supposed to revitalize the franchise. A lot riding on this game's success at launch. And one of the ideas behind all this marketing hype is that it is, in fact, back in the past, not a future Call of Duty like the last 3 ones. And boots on the ground, there's no boost jumps, jetpacks, advanced movement like that. It's going to be our nice traditional Call of Duty gameplay. Now, this week I want to take the time and discuss the past setting versus the future setting debate that's been going on for the last few years in Call of Duty, and see where you guys fall along that spectrum and what you guys would think will be done in the future. So for reference, the past setting that we'll be referring to include, Call of Duty's 1 through 3, the Modern Warfare series, Black Ops 1, Call of Duty Ghosts. It was set in the near future, like 2022, but it's a traditional past type of gameplay. In the future will be Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare, I believe, are all the games right there.
Sounds right.
Right? Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
Sounds right.
So, we'll start with you, Jacob. What type of Call of Duty setting do you prefer and why?
I think I much prefer the past setting Call of Duties. From my standpoint, it is when I play a Call of Duty game, I want to put myself into a situation where I feel like I'm in the war. Because, a big part of the Call of Duty games is the history. We weren't alive when most of these wars and battles went down. So we want to put ourselves in the shoes of those soldiers. And we want to keep going and play like we are them. Whereas the futuristic games, you're jetpacking around, you got these robot kill streaks that are just killing people, left and right, and it's not realistic warfare, which is what I'm coming to the game for.
All right. What about you, Miles? Which one do you prefer? Why?
For me, I think I prefer also the past ones as well because I did enjoy the boots on the ground. Just the fact that when it comes to jetpacking, you always have to look like at every angle. Like you always have to look above you because someone's jumping over your head. So that's like kind of disorienting to some of the players, but it's just like for me, I did like Black Ops 3, but it's like sometimes I kind of miss like boots on the ground in a way. So quick scoping, not like jetpacking in the air and quick scoping and all that stuff, but.
So technically, you're saying you prefer the past because it's boots on the ground. Technically, it's not as chaotic.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to like you don't have to look every like direction in order to kill a person.
But so like Black Ops 2 was. I mean, it's like technically a future Call of Duty Sci-Fi one, but you. That's
it's still I still would like that as well.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I see. Personally, me, I like the sci-fi futuristic settings. Because I do like my boots on the ground gameplay. I love Black Ops 1. I love the theme of the past setting Call of Duties, but there's only so much that you can do with it. And when you go to like the future or just with sci-fi shooters in general, the possibilities are limitless. You can go really far and wacky with it like people did in Black Ops 3. And with like Advanced Warfare DLC, like they added clowns and stuff, which I wasn't really a fan of. That's like character customization. But you can do that, or you can keep it somewhat grounded in the like realistic setting, like they did with Black Ops 2. It was still set in the future, but played like a past tense Call of Duty. Yeah. Or like Infinite Warfare, they kind of did it as well. It wasn't as boosty as Black Ops 3. They had like the NV4. They added the trencher in later. And it was more grounded. It still had those weird, freaky sci-fi elements to it, but it kind of was like a healthy balance, not the right word, but of like past setting and future setting for me. They can't take it as far as Advanced Warfare. Like that movement system, would you guys agree that was jerky?
Very unrealistic.
Yeah.
Really
that was messed up. That was the only Call of Duty that I didn't play. I played that for 3 months, maybe 5 months out of the time, instead of like the full year like I usually do. Yeah, did any of you guys like Advanced Warfare?
No, I didn't like it.
I generally did not like it because the way you boosted around felt so awkward to me. So like you be standing one place and then you boost forward and all of a sudden like you lose sight of that person and it just throws you off.
You got two boosts, right?
Yeah.
So you could go left and then up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like okay, that's not cool.
Just a sense of loss.
Yeah, I remember like there was like the G slide in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Move faster. Remember in Advanced Warfare it was you slide, you boost jump in the air, boost forward,
slide.
you slam into the ground, and then you can slide. It's like just non-stop chain movement.
The movements were far crazier.
Yeah.
It was something I was not expecting to be in the COD. Like they made it a little bit too futuristic in a way. Like for the first upcoming game.
Yeah, and like that game too, just like the weapons weren't that. They were kind of dull, and the score streaks didn't have that much variety.
Exactly.
Like, I think I didn't like it because it was future, but also it was just not a good Call of Duty in my opinion. Personally, for me, I didn't like Modern Warfare 3 that much, kind of for the same reasons. I know you liked it, but
that game was actually, I liked it in a way. Pretty good game.
But let me bring up this point. I've been saying this for a while. Future setting Call of Duties don't technically have to be in the future. Cause you guys both like your past tense games, right?
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
So, this is why I prefer the sci-fi, and I hope they go to it earlier because, again, it doesn't need to be all boosty jumping and futuristic settings. They can have they kind of did this with Black Ops 3 is set in the future but make it be simulations, and you can simulate like a past World War II era or anything like that. Still have it based on the ground. And still have access to anything you want to with having it in the sci-fi era. Like they kind of just Black Ops 3 with that one campaign mission. It was like the Frozen Forest, I think.
Yeah.
And they sent you into the World War II era. And then they had like the Inception trippy stuff at one point, which is like, oh yeah, this is a simulation. But like you can do stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
I think the problem is a big margin of Call of Duty players and people who purchase the game are just have the mindset that they want to play a boots on the ground, World War II, World War I type game, and they don't really buy into the futuristic stuff necessarily, where they just want to stay focused on the realism and just your basic like attack copters, your basic M4s, and they just want to have it be a realistic situation because when someone who has a mindset of they don't like buy into the future stuff, when they get killed by someone doing a boost jump over their head and then use some crazy weapon to kill them, they're just like, well, that's not realistic. Why do I want this Call of Duty?
Yeah. Counter that, like, that could still like lag and everything, you know, getting shot around corners in a World War II game.
Yeah,
that's another complaint. But that's the issue, is that the player base right now, ever since they went future, are split. Like, people
definitely.
like the past setting or the future setting. Like you, Miles, you like the
I kind of like
the future type movement, but you don't
Well, his favorite game was Black Ops 3, which is a futuristic type game, but at the same time, he likes the past setting.
Yeah, exactly. So like, there's a whole split, and that's the real issue. 'Cause I'm thinking about in the future, eventually, like, this is why we had the future Call of Duties in the first place, was that people got bored of the traditional boots on the ground.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not to say that the futuristic games can't be good Call of Duty games. I think the problem is, like, even if they are good, you're just going to lose some of the people who buy the game just because they don't buy into the futuristic type game. They'd be like, oh, if I wanted a futuristic game, I'd play something like Halo.
So it also like depends on like the creativity of the game and not like always being repetitive, as you see. Like, you know, like every Call of Duty game is gonna have their procedures and like stuff like that. But like, I would say like offering some new like achievements or whatever, like you could be like after prestige. Yeah, exactly. Like instead of like, okay, you prestige and now you have to go through the whole process again just to get to the next prestige. Like being a little bit more like creative, like after prestiging would be like a better in a way towards the player instead of just being all repetitive.
Yeah, that's like the big thing with World War II coming out, is everyone's excited about it because it's World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
But they need to have, it can't just be like,
there needs to be an end game.
Yeah, it can't just be like, oh, World War II, people are excited for a week, and then it's just like,
there's 10 guns and same thing over and over. Yeah,
which they are doing, because they're expanding with headquarters. Is it called headquarters? The social space? Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You can do 1v1s and mosh pit and things like that, and there's new stuff to do, so I think it'll have a good chance. But
that new game type that they have called War, that's
things like that.
Yeah, that's a lot better. I like that game type actually, because it's not the same normal COD that we normally play, like team deathmatch and stuff like that. It actually like branches out in a way to like having 4 specific like checkpoints in order to reach in order to beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually like a little bit better in my opinion.
Yeah. That also just brings back to my point, like, again, if you have a sci-fi type Call of Duty where you can, like, the whole thing about it, simulations, like, for the very first future simulated Call of Duty, you can both appease to people that like boots on the ground and the future people. You can have, like, a game mode where they have jetpacks, game mode where they don't.
Oh, yeah,
that's why I think the advantage is with the future sci-fi type Call of Duties, if they carry it right. But
so do you think they're going to go in that direction?
I think, well, I don't know.
Or do you think they're just going to jump right back to the futuristic again? Or if World War II is a big hit, do you think that they're going to just keep with the past games?
Well, I think they're going to ride this traditional Call of Duty for a little bit.
See how it goes.
Because Infinite Warfare, that's all I have to say. Yeah. There was bandwagon hate for that. I can go on a whole rant about that. But I think they're going to ride it for a little bit, and eventually it's going to get stale, and they're going to have to change it up and go to the future. So I think they'd probably be safe and do something like a simulation or near future like Black Ops 2, but
do they have to go to the future though? Like, I'm just saying, if you keep going, they had Modern Warfare, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops. You had year after year people still buying the same game when realistically not much is changing. It's the same game. You're just getting new maps, new weapons, but with every game, there's always the good weapons, the bad weapons, and then these are just here kind of weapons that you just forget about. And it's just the same game over and over, but reskinned, and people are still buying it every year just because it's the new one.
That's kind of the problem that you were bringing up earlier, Miles, is that, like, Call of Duty was getting stale, and people were saying it was mainly because the future, or the past setting, the traditional Call of Duty boots on the ground. So they changed it up, went to the future. It's like a big change, which felt really different for the first year. But
and then
the real problem is that there needs to be more innovation, which is like a whole nother different discussion.
Instead of just putting, like in Modern Warfare 3, for example, they actually like, just to get their players back and like to play a little bit more, they just added more prestiges to it, like that.
Yeah. Level 1000.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like a little bit too much now. Like that's a little bit too much time and dedication to put into a game.
You don't want to just keep adding levels. You want to add different game modes, different ways to play the game with different experiences, because no one really cares about playing the same game of team deathmatch or domination over and over again to get to level 1,000. 'Cause you're just gonna get some people do, but you know, I imagine that 99% of the players get bored out of their mind after prestiging once, playing the same game over and over.
Yeah. A lot of people prestige once and then
They're just like, okay, the novelty is gone. You know.
Yeah. All right, I got one more thing before we end this. Call of Duty Dinosaur Warfare.
What? No.
No.
I don't
You think they could go back like super far or do something really different like police warfare? Not police warfare, but you know.
I think
really
the farthest you could go back would be like the Revolutionary War, but then you're at a point where
there's not much.
If you have to reload your gun every time you take one shot, you're gonna have a lot of people mad at you.
Well, what about like just not military type shooters, like a police?
So
Well, I didn't say. Wait, hold on. Let me say.
I don't know where you're going.
So are you saying like
not like Battlefield, the Hardline had like a cops versus robbers type thing where they could just not make it.
I don't think they'll ever go.
No, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Not to say they couldn't, but I just don't think that is what the Call of Duty franchise.
Because if you're thinking about like the dinosaur ages, like people are gonna be riding dinosaurs and throwing sticks and stones at each other, like bruh, like
sticks and stones game.
I mean, that is true, but I'm just saying like actual sticks and throw stones, just like as like a gun or whatever. Like they actually like use like slingshots and whatnot to kill each other. So, what about World War III, bruh?
I do think you're right though that the best way to do it for the players would to have a somewhat futuristic game, but it's still boots on the ground, and then it has, like you said, those like flashbacks or simulations back to the old time missions, so that those people that want to feel like they're in the past, like in the soldier's shoes, can do that still. And then the people that don't want it to be super boring, they want some futuristic, they'll both have it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. You never know. I mean, Call of Duty. What was it? They just leaked Black Ops 4, or supposedly Black Ops 4 is supposed to be the next one, so that could be like a prequel, I'm guessing, because they're not going to go back in the future. Or maybe they could with Black Ops 3. I don't know.
I mean, I would say to just give it some time before going to like another jetpacking type era for a minute, so.
Alright, but before we wrap up here, again, World War II is less than 3 weeks away. Let's do our little ending segment of what you gonna do up until Call of Duty World War II. What do you got planned out right now?
I will probably be playing some Destiny 2 and maybe some Overwatch here and there. Just keep the thumbs ready for that aim.
What about you, Miles?
I think for me, I'm just gonna be mostly playing Destiny 2. I was thinking about getting back into Black Ops 3 a little bit since I've been away from that game for a little bit, so.
No love for Infinite Warfare right now. Even though they have a Halloween event going on right now. Yeah, same. I'm playing Destiny 2. Probably a little bit of Infinite Warfare. I'm not sure about that. And Overwatch. I am an avid Pokemon Go player, so you know that Halloween event's coming around the corner. Gen 3 is supposed to come out with it. I just don't know what I'm going to do when World War II comes out with my other games, but yeah. That will be it for this episode of the COD HQ podcast. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes. And if you guys are looking for more Call of Duty news or just stuff to hold you over into World War II, be sure to follow the COD HQ blog and follow us on Twitter at CODHQ_blog. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.